Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I remember back in 2003 and 2004 when I first met Brother Iqbal Sakrani, and at the time I was like volunteering for a blog, and I came to interview him at an Islamic event. It was at Excel event, and I was like interviewing, and I was a bit envious, and for a reason. Back in France, we didn't have at the time an organization that would represent Muslims. And when eventually one was put in place, it did not represent Muslims. It was made, organized by Nicolas Sarkozy at the time, and it was an insult to all Muslims. Votes were arranged, people were chosen based on their allegiance to the government, people didn't speak French, and it's not a critique that I have for my parents or for my uncle. It's just that when you choose systematically to put people in front of a TV screen and tell them that basically the image of Muslims is not to be young, doesn't include any women, doesn't understand the culture of the country, doesn't have a political and historical culture based on the French context, time and again and over time, it damages the image of Muslims, not in terms of harming them, but in terms of representing them by and large. So we were looking at MCB as a model, and I have to say it inspired us. It inspired us because the people we met, and all of you, I'm talking about you, everybody I met in Birmingham, in Manchester, in London, at events, on screen or off screen, all of these people, they were involved within their communities. They were part of these communities. They were attending events within the communities. And this built over time the legitimacy of MCB. We've seen this morning, and I was very keen to be here for all the sessions up until now, to see how the organization has evolved over time. We've seen that things have been successful on one side, there are things that the organization still needs to improve, but hey, welcome to the real world. These cycles are the same cycles for any wide-scale organizations. And the key issues that need to be improved, we identified. The funding needs to be stabilized and maintained and developed. Inclusion of women and youth need to be reinforced and developed. Ability to communicate efficiently at different levels with stakeholders, on social media, with the community, outside the community, this needs to be built. These skills need to become natural. They need to be associated with the MCB. MCB, good communication, good coverage, legitimacy, professionalism. These are the values of this organization. But there's nothing new there. What is new is that for one, if not the community, which is the most organized at the European level, we haven't reached that yet. MCB hasn't reached that yet. You are, by far, and don't take this as a compliment forever, you are by far the most organized, the most structured, the most legitimate representative body for Muslim communities in Europe. When I travel all across Europe, whether it be in Eastern Europe, in Central Europe, and even in Central Asia, and I tell them how the MCB operates, what they've been able to do over the year, people start wondering, how did they do it? What sort of professional, what sort of a budget do they have? Imagining that by the image it reflects, MCB would have millions of pounds to operate upon. And that's basically the actual target the MCB should aim for. In terms of objectives, in terms of operations, the natural size for an organization like the MCB should be 10 to 15 full-time staff. And it's a shame if collectively we are not able to provide a sustainable funding for an organization like the MCB. And it's not only your problem, that's our problem collectively. Because if the one leading representative body for local Muslim communities is not able to achieve this, who will? If a community that has a lot of business owners, a lot of professionals involved in it, a lot of support from around the communities is not able to put together a budget that is going to sustain the operations, not only on a donation, but a monthly, annual subscription basis, then who will be able to do this? Nobody. And we need you. We need you not only for your good, we need you for our good. We need to have partners in the UK. and I come every other month to meet with our partner organizations here, whether it be MEND, whether it be CAGE, whether it be FOSIS, whether it be MCB. And I tell you, this ecosystem of NGOs have been operating on a sacrifice mode, on the goodwill of people who've given up everything for us, on the fact that someone, the age of my father, the age of my uncle, the age of my mother, said, for our children, I would make this sacrifice. I would spend that 1 extra hour for the organization. I would make use of patience when I'm a bit bored with the meeting and when people are a bit upsetting me because of their views and this and that. Okay? So what we have is fragile. It's beautiful, it's important, but it's fragile. And we need an MCB that is strong. We need a strong MCB. Because a strong MCB means that we also have a strong ecosystem of NGOs in the UK. Last point I would like to address, a very important point. I have one criticism. From what I've said, you understand that it's a friendly, brotherly criticism. The fact that over time we are unable to let a new generation emerge, not only in the leadership, but also in the communication and the take ownership of this public space in the media, on social networks, that makes up the public opinion, this to me is a sign that we need to make more effort on that front. You have an amazing youth. These are your children. These are my little brothers and sisters. These are the people I meet in academic conferences who are top-notch of their class, who are able to do this and that. I'll finish. So take advantage of this. There has to be a way through which we connect with these youth by involving them, not only as volunteers from time to time, pick up the food, go get there, but also in the decision-making, in the creation of ideas, building them as a new elite that will contribute to the benefit of all the society. Because, and I will end on that, if Islamophobia is the construction of a Muslim problem, we need to be the humanistic solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.